Hi, Christy here with Make Everyday Colorful, and tonight I wanted to show you a book review on a book called The Medieval Feast by Aliki. Now, I will say this book might be hard to find. I do not think it's in print anymore, but I thought it was worth showing nonetheless because I think it's such a great book. If you could find one that's used online or in a thrift store or somewhere, I would definitely grab it. So it's all about a medieval feast, and my 5-year-old loves this book. So it starts off and it talks about how the king announces that he's about to make a long journey. So on his destination, the king and his party would spend a few nights at the manor. The lord of the manor knew what this meant. The king traveled with his queen, his knights, his squires, and members of his court. And that could be 100 mouths to feed. But you see how already in just the beginning of the book, how detailed and beautiful the pictures are. So it goes all into it. So preparations soon have to begin. And so the lord of the manor has all his serfs. They have to start help preparing for the king to come. And it even talks about how serfs live on the manor and these little houses or huts and how they have to work for him. And then it talks about how they're decorating the king's room and the queen's room, and they're setting up tents for the other members of the court. And then it talks about animals that they would have to hunt for the feast, and it even shows, pictures of a lot of them, and it shows them hunting them. And I think it even talks about how the serfs were not allowed to hunt. Let me see where it says it. Yeah, hunting was a sport only for the rich, and the animals that lived on the lord's estate belonged to him. Anyone else caught poaching, hunting illegally, was severely punished. So it has a bunch of little history, things about it, behind it. And then it shows about food that they trapped, and it shows, a woodcock, a lamprey, eagle, sparrow, all these things that they would catch to serve at this feast. Then it goes into the fruits and vegetables growing in the garden. And it shows isn't that neat how it has all of them? And it has the names of them. That's what I really like, because it doesn't just show two women picking vegetables. It has all around the frame of it all these vegetables that they're picking, their names, so you get a picture, a visual with it. Then it goes into grains were ground into flour for the Lord's meal. So a lot of different things going on in this book, how they're preparing for this feast. Look at that kitchen, y'all. I would love a kitchen like this, by the way. I love to cook. And it shows some of the dishes that are coming out. So I thought this was really cool. So they would take a half of a suckling and a half of a bird, cut them in half, cook, sew one into the other and vice versa, and then cook it. We always hear that old nursery rhyme, 20 blackbirds in a pie. They would cook a blackbird pie, and then right before they served it, they would put blackbirds back in here to where when they cut open the pie, they would fly out. And the peacock, that's another really cool thing that they did. They would cook the peacock, keep all its feathers, and redress the bird after they cooked it. I mean, so much detail. They had to make these really elaborate. I'm trying to go a couple pages forward. So yeah, every time they would bring out a new dish, I think they'd have to blow a horn or ring a bell. And it talks about how they didn't really have forks. They ate with their knives, and they had scented, I don't know if it was rose water or something that they would dip their fingers in to clean it. Oh, and this is really cool. I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a pastry. It was a whole castle molded out of pastry stuffed with meat, eggs, fruits, and nuts, and wondered how they managed. And sweet and spicy sauces dripped into the trenchers as jesters, jugglers entertained them. A course followed course, each ending with a fancy sculpture. I'm paraphrasing it real quick, and what else I thought was really cool, so I hadn't heard of trenchers before I read this book. Trenchers were these plates that were basically bread, I say hard bread the way they cooked it, and they would eat off of this. And they wouldn't eat the plate. They would keep the plates and give it to the poor people to eat after their meal, but the rich people wouldn't eat the plates. They only ate off of these plates, which was really bread. And then it talks about after all this, they ate from, I want to say it was let's say morning through night. I mean, they ate for hours and celebrated. And then the king, queen, went off to their bedrooms. The end. But I thought this was a really neat book. I think when I've seen it recommended, they recommended it for let's say middle school, maybe upper elementary. But I will tell you that my 5-year-old sat through this book, and we've read it a couple different times, and she really likes it. So if you can get your hands on this book, or pretty much any Aliki book for that matter. I mean, a lot of her books are really, really great. I love most of her books. I have so many of them. But yeah, get this book if you can. I highly recommend it. And if y'all want to check out any other book reviews I have, please check out my channel and subscribe, because I've been trying to add more and more book reviews. I have a lot of great books in here I want to share with you guys. Just let y'all have a peek inside them so that you can build a great home library too. Well, thanks for watching and have a blessed day.